teacher at Janus Planet Music Lessons for Humanoids, and welcome to Lesson 5. Today we're going to talk about finger picking, particularly about Travis picking. Travis picking is named after Merle Travis, the bluegrass guy, and he actually used to talk about this, his technique, the key feature of a Travis pick is an alternating bass line. That's that sound right there. Now he's given the credit for it, but he used to talk about the fact that he learned this technique from black musicians that he was hanging around with during his lifetime, and he just happened to get the credit for it, and he used to talk about that, knowing that unless he said something that people would just give him the credit, because during that time that he was the most famous, it was much more difficult, if impossible, for black person to get credit for anything. So that's why it's called Travis picking. He is one of the great musicians of all time, and apparently, in addition to his bluegrass albums, he actually put out a blues album. Pretty rare, but he put that out to honor his friends who had taught him so much about the blues. But today we're going to talk about the Travis picking. You're going to use, just like with the We Are Going to Be Friends, you're going to use these three fingers, thumb, index, and middle finger. And except this time, your thumb's going to get two fingers instead of one. And but again, your index finger is only going to play the B string. Your middle finger is only going to play the high E string in this case. All right. There's three different patterns: the 4-string, 5-string, and 6-string patterns, and it doesn't matter which one you're playing. These two fingers are going to be married to those two strings. All right. Let's start with the 4-string pattern. Your thumb is going to be married to the D string, every acid dealer, and also to the G, gets. Every acid dealer gets busted eventually. All right. So every acid dealer. So dealer gets is those are the thumb strings right there. Okay. Now to start with, one of the chords you would use for a 4-string pattern is a D chord. So I'd like you to put your hand in a D chord shape. All right. Now what I want you to do is, we're going to do this slowly together. We're going to build on the pattern. I want you to put the sheet in front of you in case that's more helpful to you. I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach it to you in a couple of different ways so you can figure out which is the best way for you to learn. So these are the different ways that different students have been found helpful in my experience. So here's one of them. So put your thumb on the D string, and your thumb is going to hit the D, and then it's going to hit the G string. And then the index finger is going to hit the B string. So thumb, thumb, index. Now when you hit the D string, you're going to hit it for one beat, and then when you hit the other two, they're going to be half beats. If you're familiar with notation at all, it's a quarter note and then 2 eighth notes. That's a single beat and then 2 half beats. So you're going to go like this: thumb, thumb, index. The way you would count that is 1, 2, and then we're going to rest for 2 beats. All right, because we just played the first 2 beats, and this is a 4-beat picking pattern. Ready, and thumb, thumb, index, rest, rest. Again, thumb, thumb, index, rest, rest. Again, thumb, thumb, index, rest, rest. Again, thumb, thumb, index, rest, rest. We're going to do it a few more times. Thumb, thumb, index, rest, rest. Again, thumb, thumb, index, rest, twice more. Thumb, thumb, index, rest, rest. One more time. Thumb, thumb, index, rest, rest. Okay, now we're going to add the middle finger, your Boston traffic finger, onto the high E string, okay? So you're going to play thumb, thumb, index, thumb. Actually, you're going to go back to your thumb first. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb. Back to the D, like so. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb, rest. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb. Again. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb. Again. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb. Again. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb. 5 more. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb. 4 more. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb. 3 more. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb. 2 more. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb. 1 more. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb. And now we're going to add the Boston traffic finger to the high E, because that's the only string it plays, like so. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle. Alright, let's do it. Ready, and thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle. 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 I'm gonna put that right over here so you can see it a little bit better. There you go. Actually, how about like that? 4 more times. 3 more. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle. 2 more. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle. 1 more. Thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle. Cool. Now, let's add, we're going to add the 2 middle strings again. Alright, let me tell you what I mean by that. Here's a visual that helps a lot of my students. Now, if it doesn't help you, if it just makes your brain shut down, please don't worry about it. It doesn't help everybody. Most people it does help, so that's why I'm going to share it with you. So, you're always, in a Travis pick, you're always going to be playing 4 strings. Alright? Right now we're just playing the 4 highest strings. So you've got 2 outside strings and 2 inside strings. Alright? Now, what we're going to do here is, this is a visual that's really helpful to a lot of my students. You start with the low string, the bass string, alright? So you hit thumb, right? And then you're going to, this low one, and then you're going to do the 2 inside strings, outside, inside. So that's how the pattern works. Bass, inside, outside, inside. Bass, inside, outside, inside. Let me do that a couple more times, just so it's clear. Bass, inside, outside, inside, bass, inside, outside, inside. Right? This is outside, inside. Alright, so there's always 4 strings in the pattern. Now what we've done so far is thumb, thumb, middle, thumb, 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 index, thumb, middle. Now we're going to bring our thumb back to the top inside string and go thumb, middle, thumb, index. thumb, index, because the index only plays this one, and the middle only plays this one. All right, so let's do it. All right. 3 and 4 and thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index. All right, I'm going to stop for a minute because a lot of times this is the point where people get kind of tripping over their fingers a little bit. All right, so I'm going to stop for a sec, let you get your bearings, and let's do it again. All right, and what you're adding is your thumb to the G and then your index to the B. All right, these are the two inside strings. Here we go. This is maybe a good time for you to look at your sheet because it's got the pattern written out for you there, and then it's written out like tab, where you have the 6 strings written, where the 6 strings going across, and the line at the bottom represents the low E, fat E, and the line at the top represents high E. All right, so it's kind of like you're looking at the strings like this. All right, and so you'll see some letters written on. In regular tab, you would see numbers written on the strings indicating which fret your finger is on. What I've done here is I've indicated which fingers I want you to use. So T equals thumb, I equals index, M equals middle. All right. If we were using our ring finger, I would have an R for ring, but we're not doing that. So T, I, M. T, I, M. All right. So it's the pattern is T, T, I, T, M, T, I. All right. And I also have it charted out so that you see what the count is. And the way you count it is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and there's a single beat, then half beat. So it's beat, half, 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 half. So 1 single beat and then 6 half beats. All right, so the first beat is a full beat, and the other 3 beats of the measure, right, there's 4-beat measure, are all in half beats. All right, so 2 halves is 1, right? So 1 plus 1 equals 2. All right, let's do it. 3 and 4 and thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index. Now let's do it 4 more times. Here we go. Ready, and thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle. All right, cool. Now, here's what I want to do. We're going to switch now to a 5-string pattern. Now, once again, we're going to only be playing 4 strings. It's just 2 of the strings are going to change. The 2 high strings are going to stay right there. Same fingers, same high strings, B and high E. All right? Let's go to an A chord. And now your thumb is going to play the A string and the D. So here's your 2 lowest strings. And so here's your outside strings, and here's your inside strings. So you're not playing the G. All right? So outside strings, inside strings. All right, let's give that a whack. See how that feels. All right? 3 and 4 and thumb, 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 middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index. Okay? Now, what I'd like you to do is the same pattern, except now we're going to do it with a C chord. Alright? In general, like I like to use bass strings when I'm, flat picking. So 4-string pattern is any pattern where you would use your D string as your bass, right? Or you're just playing. You're pretty much only playing the 4 highest strings: D and the open F, D minor, D7. Those are the ones that come immediately to mind. For the 5-string pattern, I would use it for A minor, C, A minor 7, C7, C sus, A sus, right? Various versions of A and C. Let's see, I would use it for a B7. Alright, so those are some open chords that I would use the 5-string pattern for. I would use the 5-string pattern for any, not always, but any A-shaped bar chords, if you play bar chords. But let's just, I think I'm going to just stick with the open chords for now, because I haven't taught you the bar chords yet. That's guitar 3. So, let's do it. 3 and 4 and thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, thumb. Let's hear how it sounds with the B7. To speed too, because you heard me do it a little bit at the beginning, and now that your fingers have been doing it, I want you to listen to what it sounds like up to tempo. We've been doing it slowly. It's going to sound different, but sometimes when you hear finger picking, when you haven't done it yet, it seems impossible. But you've been doing this. Notice that alternating bass. That's what we're looking for. Alright, now let's do the 6-string pattern. Now once again, we're going to use 4 strings. This finger is going to stick, still married to the B. This is still married to the high E. But now your thumb is going to play the low E, fat E, and D. So now you're not going to play the A, you're not going to play the G. Please be picky about your picking, all right? The Picasso method. Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist, all right? Be picky about the fingers you're using, the strings that you're using. I always want you to have a choice. If you end up finger picking in a way that's different than what I'm showing you, that's great, and I want you to do it because you like how it sounds, it's something cool about it that works for a particular song. And not because you can't do it this way, all right? Because then you have a choice. I want you to have as many choices as possible. So be picky about this, learn it in this way, and just know that this is one of many, many ways to finger pick, and they're all great. And this is just one, but learn it, and then you have the choice. It's in your toolbox, all right? Now, so let's start with an E chord. So these are my outside strings are low E and high E, or fatty and skinny E, and my inside strings are the same as they are for the 5-string pattern, the D and the B. All right, so here we go, E chord. outside, outside, inside, and bass. Inside, outside, inside, and. Alright? Let's do the same thing with a G chord. Alright? Ready, and thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, index, bass. Inside, outside, inside, and. Cool. Alright. Now, I don't know about you, but I know when I first learned to fingerpick, I felt like, okay, now I'm really a guitar player. So hopefully it feels at least really cool that you know how to do it now. Maybe you don't relate to the I feel like a real guitar player now, but many people do. So let's now take a look at a song. One of them is, let's start with The Speed of the Sound of Loneliness. This is an old John Prine song, and a number of people have covered it. My favorite being a Nancy Griffith cover on Other Voices, Other Rooms, and this is just a great, great song. So the chords in it are a G, a C, and a D, right? These are all chords you know. And for the G, we're going to use a 6-string pattern. C, we're going to use a 5-string pattern. And D, we're going to use a 4-string pattern. All right. So let me just sing a little bit of it for you. It's low for my range, but you'll notice that. You come home late and you come home early. You come on big when you're feeling small. You come home straight and you come home curly. Sometimes you don't come home at all. So what in the world's come over you? What in heaven's name have you done? You've broken the speed of the sound of loneliness. You're out there running just to be on the run. Alright, now the patterns: 6-string pattern, 6-string pattern, 5-string pattern, 5-string pattern, 4-string pattern, 4-string pattern, 6-string pattern, 6-string pattern. Alright, see how that goes? Alright, now you'll have, just like with the other weeks, you know, there is an MP3 of me singing the whole song, just so you have, you can play along with that. Take it slow. Although it's an interesting thing with finger picking, many of my students find that if they slow down, it actually messes them up. That they're actually more comfortable doing finger picking a little faster, on the faster side. You know, maybe not quite like this at first, but really, really slow like that messes a lot of my students up. So mess around with that and see what feels right to you. All right. So that's Travis picking with Speed of the Sound of Loneliness. Now the other song I have for you here is As Tears Go By, and that's same finger picking pattern, but it's just a little more difficult because you switch chords every measure. All right. You're going to use the 6-string pattern for the G, 5-string pattern for the A and the C, 4-string pattern for the D, and there's an E minor in there, and use the 6-string pattern for that. Alright, so let me just play just a little bit of that for you. I mean, you also have an MP3 of that as well, but you just so you have a little taste of it here. It is the evening of the day. sit and watch the children play. Smiling faces I can see, but not for me. I sit and watch as tears go by. 6-string pattern, 5-string pattern, 4-string pattern, 5-string pattern, 4-string pattern, 6-string pattern, 5-string pattern, 5-string pattern, 4-string pattern, 4-string pattern, 5, 4, 5, and then the 4, and then 6, and 6 again, and 5, and then the 4. All right, now what you might want to do with your sheet music is you might want to just write numbers on top of the chords, just to help you remember which pattern you're going to use. A lot of my students have found that helpful. Some of you may find it the most helpful to practice this finger picking following along with the sheet that's included in this lesson. There's a sheet, the one I was talking about before, where it has the strings written out and then the letter names of the fingers that you're using and which string you have them on with the pattern. So some people find the inside outside thing the most helpful. Some people find the thumb, index, thumb, middle thing that I'm doing that the most helpful, and other people find just following the sheet the most helpful. So that's figure out, try them all and see which one really helps you the most. Whatever works for you is fantastic. And of course, you can always email me with questions. Happy to answer any questions that you have. All right, so moving forward, between now and next week, you can practice the scale that shall not be named, your major movable scale, and then you have a couple of finger picking songs to start to practice using the Travis picking method. Start with the John Prine song first because it's a little easier, and then give the As Tears Go By a try as well. And next week, or next week's lesson, for lesson 6, we're going to finish with Father and Son by Cat Stevens, and that'll be the end of the series. I don't know about you, but the 6 weeks always goes by really fast for me. When I teach these classes at PASIM, week 6 comes up and it's like, really? Already? So hopefully it's been that way for you. And so again, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in lesson 6.